Hello everyone, my name is ThePandaPhotographer. I'm a documentarian, travel consultant, and photographer. And yesterday, I captured, while I was in Starbucks for a few hours, I captured a homeless man. I captured a homeless man being chased out of Starbucks on a very cold and snowy day. So with that said, everyone, I want to ask you as an audience a question. Do you think you believe you have constitutional, human, and civil rights in this country? If you do say yes, please leave it down in the comments below. Because earlier today, Mr. Bill Lewis was sometimes he comes into the videos, but lately he hasn't been very supportive when in conversation about topics. And he said that the police have every right to detain someone that has mental health. Keep this in mind also. The man wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just in Starbucks trying to stay warm. It was the Starbucks employees that, and I say this with my professional observation. Starbucks employees are young and uneducated. They think they're better than most people. Not all of them. There are good people and there are bad people that work at Starbucks, and Starbucks knows this. But Starbucks employees don't have a right to kick out a homeless woman or man or child or family out on the streets when Starbucks allow public access to their cafeterias for anyone. That includes homeless. Now, he wasn't the only homeless person inside that Starbucks, but apparently, for what I gathered from Starbucks employee, which I'm not going to say her name, he has gotten violent in Starbucks. And I said, why does he get, how, and I said this to her, why does he get violent in Starbucks? He goes, oh, he comes in here, he asks for water all the time. And I said, wait, he asks for water all the time. Do you think that's a human right to ask for the water? Yes. Look at him, he's homeless, he's being neglected, he has no clothes, barely any clothes. Barely has any warm, walkable shoes, and he's walking around in 20-degree Fahrenheit weather, and you won't give him water. She says, who are you? I said, I'm a documentarian and also I'm an activist for homeless rights. And what you guys are doing in New York City is violating that human and constitutional right. He wasn't bothering anyone. This is why a lot of people were upset. He wasn't bothering anyone in Starbucks. Yes, he has mental health. We all have mental health problems, right? But he's being the one being neglected. He's the one being told he can't stay in Starbucks because of his attire. His attire was not appropriate. But what can you tell the man when he has nothing to his name? The city won't even give him clothes. The people in the city won't give him clothes. So I ask you this, ladies and gentlemen. Do you believe that he has a right to stay warm like I have? What makes you think he's better than me? I'm better than him. I'm sorry. I'm about to say better than... What makes you think I'm better than him? We are in the same boat, friend. The only difference is that he is chronically homeless and I am houseless. He has far more mental health crisis on his hands than I do. Well, we can probably simulate the same. I've been through tragedy. He's been through neglect. So think about how he feels when he sees the police, the same police, probably, chase him out of Starbucks. So this is what happened. He sees them, he's arguing with them in Starbucks, he throws the water onto the ground at them, and he gets chased out of Starbucks. Then he's being chased he was being chased around the Starbucks block, which is 8th Street, and I guess that is called Astro Place, right in that block. And where that cubicle is, they chased him, and then they decided to tase him. Mind you, he hasn't broken any laws. He didn't break any laws, ladies and gentlemen. But people in the comments are saying he deserved to be arrested because people like him don't deserve to be out in the streets. Well, people like you put them out on the streets. People that fail to realize that mental health is the biggest problem among other illnesses in this on this planet. So I ask you this: where is the resources? So when they tased him and they left him naked on the ground for at least 10 minutes before they decided to get his dirty blanket and put it back on him. And I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not a big fan of Starbucks in general, to say, because, mind you, the same staff, I wrote a review on that Starbucks, by the way, on Google, and this is why it has gotten over 50,000 views. Not only that Starbucks got my hot chocolate wrong, but did you know that Starbucks doesn't pay attention and doesn't care? Because they food poisoned me. Mind you, if you've seen the video a couple of weeks ago, they literally put 1% or half and half milk in my hot chocolate that said almond milk. I know this because I talked to the manager and I explicitly told him that was not almond milk. And they try to give me a free hot chocolate and other things. I don't want that, sir. I want an apology from that guy, because he's the one that made it. So with that said, everyone, I don't want to let people know that that homeless man wasn't doing anything wrong at all. He was literally not his own business, trying to stay warm like I have and like every other homeless person in the city has tried to do in the last couple of days. And you're sitting here leaving comments saying that, oh, he deserves to get detained because he has mental health issues. He doesn't need to be out in public. Wait. You telling me that you're willing to have a criminal out in public that robs, steals, murders, hate Asian people, rob people, hit people in the back, gunpoint? You'd rather have them out on the streets than a homeless person literally not in his own business out on the street? Which one are you going to pick? The homeless person or the criminal? Because I'm so confused. And not only that, you're not giving that man a benefit of the doubt. We, as a people, we put him in that position. Why? Because we don't advocate enough to fight for mental health services, and not just this country, globally. I face mental health crisis problems all the time. I deal with them all the time and every day. But that doesn't give you the right to dictate me and tell me that I don't belong out in the public, or I don't deserve to have a conversation with one of you. One of you may want to have a conversation with me. And this is why I recorded it. Because the couple that was sitting next to me is like, this is what I don't like about New York, they said. Why do they treat the homeless people like they are trash? Because we are all trash. Until you hit rock bottom, you are nothing to anyone else. You're nothing to everyone else. You were something to someone, but you hit rock bottom, therefore now you must pay your own prices. Yeah, let me pay my price, but don't neglect me. Don't forget about me. And this is why a lot of people commit, and I'm going to talk about this very important topic, suicide. This is why people choose to take their lives, because they feel like there's no one beside them. No one holding their hand, no one touching their shoulder and telling them, go on, you can do this, friend. I believe in you. There's no one. How you think that man or that man feel, or any woman or man or child feel in this city? I try to emphasize why the homeless DHS in New York City is broken. Stephen Brown, one of my subscribers, he can testify why it is a broken system. He's a native New Yorker. What's the other guy that works down on 23rd, and I haven't talked to him in a while? He says that you never want to be on welfare because all they do is label you and cash you out. So with that said, everyone, yes, it's dehumanizing what they did. They could have just taken an emergency. Mind you, every police officer in their vehicle has an emergency blanket. Every one of them has it. Why didn't the police give him an emergency blanket? Because they didn't want to waste resources on someone they don't care about. So with that said, everyone, it's 10 minutes into this conversation. I just wanted to emphasize why it's still windy and it's still cold out here. And that man is probably in a mental health facility against his own will. And that's the problem, Mayor. You can't force people to go into the mental health facility against their will. That's a violation of the Constitution and my human and civil rights. I have to be willing and competent to know where I'm going. And that's the failure about the mayor. But then again, the mayor has multiple lawsuits on his hands right now because of the last administration that was in office. And this mayor is not also showing a good example either. He's literally telling his police officers to arrest people that record police activity if they, first and foremost, even if I was 30 feet away, I was given a New York City press pass. This is why I was up close and personal. This is why no one wanted to go beyond where I was standing in that video. But I went closer and got closer, and I had my New York City press pass out. And that cop was about to tell me to get on the sidewalk. I literally pumped out my chest. Yeah, dare me tell me to tell me to get on the sidewalk again. Officer, you're violating my first Constitution. Not only that, as you are aware, the paramedics came. Why? Because he's going to go to the hospital, then he's going to go to a special hospital. He's going to be forced to go into a mental health facility for a few days against his will. Mind you, you have to sign a document. Even if you're incompetent, you still have to sign. Someone, a psychologist, a professional, not a police officer, a police officer cannot and does not know the psychological education behind psychology education. They don't. So with that said, everyone, I really want you to really think about that assessment. I want you trying to, and here's the thing, Mr. Bill Lewis, you ruined a good friendship between you and I by saying that I was clickbaiting. That's the 6th time every video I post, you just say, I clickbait. How am I clickbaiting? This man's rights were violated. Mr. Lewis, if your daughters was in the same condition, their rights were violated, you'd be pissed off yourself or angry or you just feel unease about it. But no. You pick on some homeless and you pick your favorites. And that's not how it works, friend. That is not how it works. Everyone is in this game together. You know what, John is this guy in New Jersey, right? He donated $5 today, right? You know what I did to that $5? I went inside the freaking store. I bought 2 Arizona iced teas, right? I drank one and I gave one to the homeless guy that sits right in front of that convenience store right across the street. I said, listen, friend, I don't have much, but if you want the Arizona drink, I can offer this. He goes, yeah, I'm thirsty. Why? As I said earlier, there's a lot of cafes that do not like to give free water to some homeless people, like Starbucks. And I say this, and I'm not trying to bash Starbucks because I do go in there. I go to certain locations that do make the hot chocolate correctly. I would never buy one of those refreshments because Starbucks is kind of under fire for those because they put caffeine in those, and those could literally have 4 times the amount of caffeine as an espresso shot. But I digress. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this as a man of homelessness, and as a man of photography, documentarian, and a man with cameras, and a man with knowledge. You were not there. You don't know what happened. So Mr. Bill Lewis and everyone else, you weren't there. You don't live here. So how would you know what would happen? And your speculations on why, look at him, he's just filthy, he's dirty. Really? I want to be filthy and dirty. Oh, that's right, I'm already am. Because I've been out here for the last 2 years. since summer of 2021. So keep that in mind. Summer of 2021. If you're going to pick on him, you got to pick on me and everyone else that is facing homelessness together in solidarity. And you're not in solidarity, friend. You're against people. And that's the problem about humanity. How is humanity against itself? It's a tragedy. It's a failure on our part to communicate, to show that we can make it better. California spends $70 million a year to do suites. Portland spends about $20 to $30 million in suites. And if you don't know what the suites are, there are suites that the police, sanitation, local officials, what they do is they confiscate all your belongings. If you're sleeping out on the street on the West Coast, this happens quite a bit on the West Coast. If you're sleeping out on the streets on the West Coast, they don't care if you have Social Security card in there, your passport, your laptop, anything that is your tools to work or clothing. They will trash it and throw it away or take it or palm it or steal it. Some police officers got caught doing that, stealing from the homeless. That was a video on social media, stealing from the homeless. Yeah, they were stealing the radios, they were stealing Walkmans, cell phones, yep. So I ask you this, why spend all of that money on suites when you can spend all that money on housing? If you don't have the housing, you can literally spend the money on temporary housing. $70 million LA spends. 30 to 40 million in San Francisco. About 10 to 25 million in Portland. And Seattle, forget about it. They don't even sweep in Seattle anymore. So I ask you this question. Why does the taxpayers have to pay the price? And I said this before, and everyone took everything out of context. And I repeat what I said in the last video, Mr. Stephen Brown, and wasn't trying to debate with you. You just missed the point of my conversation. Because on average, there are 9 million registered New York voters. I understand there's 12,000 that are 12,000 here, but those are half the percentage of that is undocumented. We don't count that. I was talking about taxpayers that pay taxes, that literally donate, that literally take the time to support one another. Taxpayers. Not talking about undocumented individuals. Taxpayers are the ones that always have to pay the price. They are always the ones that always have to pay the price. So with that said, and Barbie, I am still sleeping on the street. Look what I am right now. So I am sleeping out on the streets. I slept here on the street last night in the freaking windy and cold and saturated cold weather. So with that said, everyone, I actually just question one more time. Would you violate someone's constitutional rights because you feel like you're in power? And that's the problem with some people in some establishments, not just police. But I feel like this is a thing going on in Starbucks in the city. No one likes homeless people that much. Unless the homeless person has common sense. And this is why I'm a threat. Let me tell you why I'm a threat. Because I have common sense. I know from right from wrong. Guys, I never went to prison. I never went to jail. I don't have a record. Well, technically, I went to jail in Japan for that incident. But in the States, I don't have a record. I don't do anything bad. So I ask you this. Why would you want to violate my rights because I'm homeless? Why would you want to violate my rights because I'm showing solidarity, but I'm doing the right thing by not posing a threat to the community? Why am I being subject as a target practice? That's what this is. Homelessness is like target practice. Oh, look at that homeless guy. Look, 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 look. This is what people do in the city. This is what they say. And I know you have heard people say this before. Look, 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 look. Look how dirty that person is. Oh, my panda. He doesn't even care about himself. Look at him. Dirty. People are stupid. You never heard that before? Okay, let me give you another one that I heard. Oh, my God. The women, look at her. She got a sign with a child that says she's homeless. Yeah, some of those could be fraud, but like, look at her. She doesn't even care about her baby. But you don't got the balls enough to say that in her face. That's the point. None of you have the balls to say that in a homeless man's face. Why? Because they would slap the shit out of you. Poet, I'm reading all your comments. I'm reading your comments. But a poet says, I sincerely appreciate your authenticity and courage to advocate for others in your stories in a similar situation. The stats are appalling. And I keep telling Mr. Stephen Brown and everyone else, just because you see statistics doesn't mean those statistics are right. So when I was working in Portland, and a lot of homeless in Portland, and I was working for the state, did you know that Portland statistics were so wrong about everything? They said that there's only like 10,000 homeless people in Portland. No, there's not. There are over 50,000 homeless people in Portland. Drug addicts, heroin addicts, blues addicts. They call it blues. I just found that out just a few days ago. Now they're changing the name, calling it blues. And that's the thing. Why you guys keep changing the drugs names to be such appealing? So I want to talk to the homeless community right now. You should give up the drugs and the alcohol abuse. Well, listen, you have alcohol disorder problems. You need to talk with someone. You have a academic problem, you need to go talk to someone. I don't care if the person doesn't have... Listen, if you know someone that has decent courtesy and common sense, that's the person you should be talking to. But everybody is in denial. Everyone is a paycheck away from being homeless. And guess what? I just met a Chinese homeless girl today in Starbucks. Yeah, so I got off the train over here. I went to the Starbucks here because this is the only decent Starbucks in New York City. It's on Junction Avenue, right? And the young lady in there and the young guy was like, "Oh, what's up, man? The camera guy." I said, "Yeah, I came to use the bathroom, man. I need to take a number 2, right?" I went there to take a number 2. I came back 5 minutes later, and the guy behind the counter was like, "Hey, man, you see that Chinese girl? She keeps looking at you. But I'm going to tell you, man, she's homeless too. She doesn't look homeless, but she's homeless." I'm like, And I just, for like 20 minutes, I just watched and observed her. And I was like, oh, she just took a bottle of sanitizer. This is how you know. She took a bottle of sanitizer and she started like sanitizing her arms. Then she took some of the sanitizer and poured it in a cup. Then she went in the bathroom. And then she came out the bathroom. She had her coat off. She had a scarf off. And I think what happened was that she sanitized her body down. So I actually just questioned, why are you picking on honest, good, homeless people? And I am the one to make it happen on this channel. Why are you trying to deprecate my name and deprecate on the homeless here, and not just New York, but everywhere? Why are you trying to violate my freedom of speech by not hearing me out? And I say this not out of disrespect, but you guys talk so much game in New York, in the United States. You talk about civil liberties, you talk about black rights, and my Constitution. You talk about your civil and your human rights. And then when it comes to it, you want to violate someone else's rights. That's not American. America should have been like, "Oh, I got you, friend. Ain't nobody gonna pick on you. This is America. Shit, we stick together. But no, I don't even hear that anymore. I don't hear it anymore. And it makes me sad. We got you, homie. This is why you guys ask me, am I ever going to go back to California? I don't think I want to. Because homelessness there is much more grimier than New York City. If you know what I'm talking about, you guys have seen me do videos about San Francisco in the past when I was there. You guys have seen live streams of me being attacked on live stream by homeless men and women in San Francisco on my live stream. You were there when my headphones got stolen on live stream. You were there when my cell phone was stolen on live stream, and the police officer literally got my phone back in San Francisco. I guarantee you this. No NYPD would have got my phone back. I would swear to you, no NYPD officer would have got my phone back. Those San Francisco cops got my phone back. You know why? Because they wanted to put the motherfucker in jail. And listen, America is a good place. I just wish it could do better. Like it once did before all this chaos started. I know, before it wasn't even better. But and now, as I'm seeing it, I'm noticing that I don't think America has changed since Prohibition or since slavery. I don't think it has changed. Look how many young black people are not going to school. I noticed this today. You young black people need to, you young people, not just black, but you young Spanish, black, white, Latino, you need to go to school. You need to stop hanging out in Starbucks from morning to night, pretending to go home at night and telling your parents you went to class. You need to go to school. You need to go get your education, because in 10 years from now, you're gonna be begging for that education, because when you don't get that education, you're not gonna get a good job. So if I were you, young folks, you need to go and educate and learn 3 other languages, like Spanish if you want, Japanese if you want, Chinese, French, which I do recommend. You need to learn 3 languages so you can stand out, so you can have, I say this, leverage. When you are skilled at multiple things, you have leverage. I'm skilled at shooting video, editing video, shooting photos, documentarian work, filmmaking. I haven't even presented a film since 2017, since I was invited in a film festival. So I've asked you this question, ladies and gentlemen. Why are so many of you being divided? A homeless man was shot execution style in St. Louis. Yeah. I know that. That's actually been broadcast on YouTube with Mr. Understandable. Also, another black man was shot again in a fetal position when the police told him, raise your hands. He literally got in a fetal position and he got shot multiple times and was killed. So, yeah, there's a lot of things going on in this country that doesn't make sense. So I emphasize, why are blacks are being subject to racism again in the country? Are we going back in time, or are we going forward in time? So with that said, everyone, I just want to stand up for that homeless man in Starbucks, because a lot of people left a few comments that were very unorthodox. Because, mind you, Mr. Bill Lewis doesn't even live in New York City. You live all the way in Montana, friend. I mean, not Montana, Minnesota, Midwest. And you have the nerve to act like you were there? No, friend, I was there. I recorded it. I have the footage. I know what happened. I was sitting right there in Starbucks. And guess what? As I was walking back inside that Starbucks from finished recording, the employees were laughing because he got stung and he was necking on the street. And I said, you think that's funny? I want to see you 10 years from now laugh when you are the subject to that kind of abuse. And they looked at me like, that's disgusting. I I'm speaking as the press, but I'm speaking as an advocate. That's highly disgusting. And not only that, the couple in there was literally also saying, yeah, I'm disgusted. You know, I'm never going to buy a Starbucks drink ever again. After hearing and seeing you young people work here and literally treat people, I'm done. And I was like, wow. A couple walked out, and a lot of people actually walked out of the Starbucks that, I guess that afternoon, a lot of people were disgusted by the staff. And I'm pretty sure the manager noticed. They're like, I was recording, and I still have footage of that. I just didn't post it yet, because I'm waiting for Starbucks to reply back to that video and to a tweet. So I can say, oh, that didn't happen? Okay, time to post it. So that didn't happen, you say? So this is why I said leverage. As a documentarian, guys, I'm sitting on footage from like 10 years ago. I'm sitting on footage from 2 years ago. I'm sitting on footage 5 years ago. I have 10 terabytes of video content since 2018. I'm just sitting on that footage, waiting for the day to use it. If you haven't seen on my content recently, you'll be like, wait, you're not in San Francisco. Yeah, I'm just sitting on good quality footage that I haven't even touched. Starbucks is way too expensive for what they try to offer. And as I was saying before, those refreshment drinks, you need to be careful. Those have caffeine in it. They have probably more caffeine than an espresso shot. And yeah, Starbucks lately has been coming on the fire for that, because these young people are getting hyped. And I had drunk that. And I'm going to have to tell you, get it without sugar. I don't understand why they put so much sugar in everything. But I digress. With that said, I just want to show some common sense in this video so you guys can be aware of why you misjudge that homeless man. He wasn't doing anything, friends. He doesn't even have gloves like I have gloves on right now. He doesn't even have gloves. He doesn't even have a nice warm coat, which this coat is not that warm. But he doesn't even have a coat. Doesn't even have thermals, socks. You should see his footwear. He had... The shoes were coming apart. No socks. His skin had dirt like he was sleeping in mud. Come on, friends. This is winter. And I know the city sees him. This is the thing, guys. The city, the police, the paramedics, the public officials see this man every day and don't say nothing. That's what I was trying to tell you. That is called neglect by the city. A city social worker or someone advocated for the city, if they're working for the houseless or homeless program, they're supposed to say something off duty or on duty no matter what. I did it, off duty and on duty. Porchlight even had me go off duty to look for clients. And that's what I did, off duty, looking for clients. Hey, you need to go contact Porchlight, they got housing for you. Really? Yeah. Call him right now. Like, that's why I was looking for you, friend. Oh, I thought you were looking for him because I did something wrong. No, friend, I would never come in. Come on, I'm not the police. See? I know the job. This is why I'm not pleased with DHS in New York City. When I was DHS in Portland, Seattle, and Madison, Wisconsin, I did my job to the T. So I ask you, are you going to do your part to the T? With that said, I'm going to get going. I got to sleep out here in the fucking cold too. I got to try to find some place to warm. Because let's be honest, a lot of homeless men and women do not want to be sleeping in the subway. I just showed you why the subway was dangerous. You see how that homeless woman came up to my camera? I thought she was about to fucking smack it off my wagon. So that 5 minutes being in the subway on that cold night, I want you to watch it again. Take good observation what those homeless people and the homeless man that was sleeping right next to me while I was standing up at the door. You can see it right there in the right-hand corner with the scooter. This is why I was telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that every man and woman that delivers your food, or not every man and woman, but half of them that deliver your food, that do Grubhub or They're homeless and they gotta sleep in the subway. They gotta sleep outside in the park. So, and that is America. With that said, if you guys want to support the channel, there's a Patreon. Go to the Patreon. Sign up to be a Patreon. You want to sign up to be a Patreon and want to be a Patreonee, join the family, Panda Nation. If you want to support it other ways, go to my website, ThePandaPhotographer.com. You can buy a print, but I want to actually come down on the prices on the prints because people think my prints are expensive, but then I just got the guy that literally bought a print from Sweden and said, this print is amazing. It is so much worth the money. I'm like, but people don't believe in it. But if you guys want to support other means, there's a PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Google Pay, and a Wise international donation link. With that said, I'm the Panda Photographer. I am diverse, I am bilingual, and I have leverage. And this is what I do on this channel in transparency. You don't have to like this channel, but you're going to respect what we do as a human species. We survive, and we do the best to survive. Eat, sleep, photography, and eat, sleep, photography, videography, and repeat. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.